Jennifer Lopez is going on tour for the first time in 5 years. Hey guys, Blessing here, and how are you all doing? Jennifer Lopez is extremely busy promoting her latest album titled This Is Me, and she has also announced that she will be going on tour, which would be the first tour in 5 years, and the album is already #1 worldwide on iTunes charts. We all know Jennifer Lopez from decades ago. She has made waves. She has already built a name and a brand for herself. And it looks like people want more and more of her. And the success of this album still goes a long way to prove that. But what also really makes this album very special is that it delves into the romantic journey that Jennifer Lopez has had to go through with Ben Affleck. Many of us already know the story that these two people were in a relationship together over 20 years ago. He even featured in at least one of her very popular music videos then, and then they broke up. Ben Affleck went on to be with Jessica, with whom he has kids. Then over 2 decades down the line, he reconnects with Jennifer Lopez, which really makes their love story unique. And a lot of people want to know more. How is their marriage? Is Ben really happy? Is this Jennifer Lopez's last bus stop? Is this going to really work this time around? So she made it in such a way that it now looks like a musical memoir of their journey together, of their relationship, how things are, really giving her fans and spectators in general more insight into even what they do in the bedroom. Moving on to Portia Williams, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Things are happening in Atlanta, Georgia. So this woman got married to a Nigerian who goes by the name Simon Gwobadia. The name doesn't even sound Nigerian to me, but let's leave that aside. But we know that he is from Edo State. They got married approximately 15 months ago. Now she has filed for divorce, but that is not even the gist here. The gist is that this man, 59 years old, 8 children from previous relationships, has been married 3-4 times in his life. He is trying to become a citizen of the United States of America, but his application got denied. All of this that I've just mentioned happened before he got married to Portia Williams. Now, this man has multiple felonies to his name, and I want to give you guys a smooth timeline of his life in the US, at least. Now, the first time he went to the US was in 1982. 42 years ago. I wasn't even born then. That was also when he committed his very first crime, at least the one that was registered, by overstaying his visa. His visa expired and he did not return to Nigeria when he should have, because he went into the US on a visitor visa. Now, in 1985, he applied for adjustment of status based on his marriage, and that application was denied because the agency deemed the marriage to be a sham because of the statements that his then spouse made during an interview with the agency. She said, for example, that they had never lived together and they did not have sexual relations. So she more or less spoiled everything for him. Then you can just conclude that that was a contract marriage. It's just going into an agreement with someone, either paying them cash money or other form of payment to pose as your spouse. And it's really tricky because in the first place, I do not even understand a system that allows you to get married to someone when you are not residing in that country legally or when you have overstayed your visa. So after his application got denied, he was declared deportable. And then he voluntarily left the US. Yes, he went back to Nigeria. And the following year, in 1986, he went back to the US and yet again overstayed his visa because he should have only stayed for 6 months, but he ended up being arrested in 1987 for bank and credit card fraud. And to that, he pleaded guilty. So I guess at that time, he knew that his chances of staying in the United States legally were at stake. So in 1988, that's the following year again, he went and applied for temporary residence under the Special Agricultural Workers Program. And he was granted because he got temporary residence. But what they didn't know at the time was that he had used a fake identity to make that application, and he did not also include his criminal history. So he just went into that application like a totally different person with a clean record, no criminal record, never overstayed their visa, and then he was granted based on the fake identity that he had used. Well, that was supposed to become a fairy tale, or for him to start to just build his life on a good record. But guess what? He started to push his luck. A year later, talking about 1989, he got arrested, this time for unauthorized use of vehicle. And in 1990, a year later again, oh my God, sounds almost like a movie, he got arrested again, but this time for identity fraud. And remember, all this time he has two identities in the United States, one with a clean record and the other with a criminal record. So all these arrests were based on the identity of his from the moment that he entered the US in 1982. But the other identity that he used in obtaining temporary status, which he was eventually granted in 1991. But in the same year again, the personality with a criminal record got arrested for credit card fraud, and the immigration judge ordered his deportation back to Nigeria. And then in 1992, he was physically removed from the United States, meaning he was physically deported. But in the same year, after he got deported, approximately 26 days after he got deported, his temporary resident status got automatically converted to permanent resident status. And then in 2016, meaning 24 years after he got his permanent residence in the United States under a fake identity, he applied for naturalization, and that got denied, because the temporary resident status under which he got the permanent status was unlawfully granted, and also because he willfully concealed information about his criminal record, meaning they found out that he was using a fake identity to enable him to live legally in the US. Can you just imagine that even 20-something years later, you still do not get the chance to a second chance? Anyways, in 2020, so 4 years after this naturalization application got denied, he filed again for naturalization, which was also denied based on the same reasons, obviously. And then in 2021, a year later again, he got engaged to Portia. And then in 2022, he requested a hearing on the decision to deny his application. And the outcome of that was that the court upheld that decision. They did not change it. And then in 2023, last year, he challenged the court to vacate the decision and grant him naturalization. And that eventually, just this week, was denied. And some days later, Portia Williams filed for divorce, and everyone is wondering if it has to do with everything that now came out about him. I do not think really that it does. I do not also think that all of what we heard recently in the news and in court documents about this man did not come as a shock to Williams. I believe that she was fully aware of the man she went into this marriage with. Maybe she found out some things that he withheld from her, or that he was not fully honest with her about. But I do not think that a woman who just got married 15 months ago would desert her husband based on information that she was already aware of, if that makes sense. So I am looking at issues between them individually, trust issues, for example, from her side to his. Also, you'd want to expect someone who is a newlywed to want to really stick with their partner, and it's not happening in this case, which is quite sad, especially for him. But this just goes a long way to really let people see that whatever you do in life, there are consequences, no matter how long it takes. You might be doing something right now because you feel like you have to do it, or you feel like it's the easy way out. But trust me, 10, 20, 30 years later, when you no longer need to do that thing you used to do before, it will become an impediment to your progress, to your growth. And another thing is that this man is currently a very successful businessman. He's a man who practically can afford anything and everything that he wants, but he cannot afford naturalization. This is that one thing that he really desires, that he has desired from the 80s. But the question is, why did he wait till 2016 to start to apply? He got his permanent residence in 1992. But he started to apply for naturalization in 2016, 24 years later. So what happened in his life during that period? Why did it become essential for him to start to fight the court in order to become an American citizen later, ending up marrying another American citizen? And could he not have gone through the fiancé visa program to start afresh, say on a new leaf, with his true identity? Unfortunately, the crimes on his neck are just overwhelming. It's just so many offenses and criminal charges and felonies on one person's name. It's almost unforgivable and also very understanding. I mean, there are some people that would be denied application and you'd feel like, oh my God, why can't they just consider this person? But in Simon's case, it's really difficult for anybody to help plead his case because it's just too much. All the things that he has done in his life that he got caught for, we are not even going to start to imagine the ones that he did not get caught for. I feel sorry for him, but hey, like I said already, there are consequences to the actions and decisions that we make in life. Now, moving on to Kanye West and Bianca. You guys know I'm always going to bring these two people to you. I do not I do not understand the dynamics entirely. I mean, a husband, Kanye West, who was married to Kim Kardashian, and when he got married to Kim Kardashian, this man cleaned up her entire wardrobe. She had to dress in a certain way, like a real lady. All the exposing and skimpy outfits were out the window. He coordinated her wardrobe and her outfit. He just wanted his wife to be presentable and classy. And he even encouraged her to go back to school, where she went and studied law. And for you to now see that same man get married to an Australian by the name Bianca, and now he's going 180 degrees, you begin to wonder, is he okay? Is the situation well? Anyways, they both attended a listening party for his new album Vultures. I believe it was in Italy, and this is what Bianca wore. And what I found remarkable when I watched this video was the fact that she wanted to turn, but she asked him first. Just reading her lips, you can tell that she asked for his consent, or she asked what he thought about it, and he more or less gave the go-ahead, and she swelled. I love these people already. Like I told you guys before, initially when they started all this semi-nudity thingy they are doing, it came as a shock. But as time goes on, we are, like I said, we are getting used to them, and I'm getting used to her, and I love her new hairdo. Really suits her face. And next on my list is Usher Raymond. You guys, this man has been in the business for over 3 decades. and the world is just about to rediscover him. 2 weeks ago, he was at the Super Bowl, and you know what is going to happen after such a tremendous show that made waves globally. Right now, he is preparing for his tour. He's doing a Europe tour and also a UK tour. He's going to be in Amsterdam, by the way, but it's on a weekday. So people like us, we cannot attend. However, he was also honored in Atlanta's Walk of Fame. So he is just going from glory to glory. I like the way his tour is named Past, Present, Future. It's really inspiring to see someone who has been in the business for 30 years still doing exceptionally well. Last but not least, Omah Lay. Omah Lay was in London for his concert, and guess what happened? He was just doing his own performance on stage, and you know how these male artists, mostly male artists, do that. They pull up a lady from the audience or a girl, and they dance together and just entertain the audience, and nothing out of the ordinary. But this time, something out of the ordinary happened. He pulled up this young, beautiful lady who was at the same concert with her boyfriend. He took her there. So initially, when he pulled her up, when Omah Lay pulled the girl up, his boyfriend was even encouraging, cheering her on, like, oh, you're gonna have a great night. And he was even recording until everything went crazy. The girl went right into it. So they climbed this staircase and a curtain dropped, right? So I think that this girl thought they were blocked off from the audience, that nobody was seeing what was happening. But nothing is further from the truth. Everybody could watch. Her boyfriend could he could see every raunchy move that she was making on Omah Lay. It was, you guys, just watch the clip that I'm showing you down below. I think the boy or her boyfriend was devastated at the end of the evening, and the news that reached us is that he broke up with her immediately after the concert ended. And there was another clip that surfaced online where she was standing there outside with a group of girls, and they were explaining to her what happened. They were like, we could see you, we saw everything. And she was like, oh my gosh, she was really surprised that people saw her. What is your take? If you're watching this video now, what is your take on it? Did the boyfriend overreact by dumping his girlfriend because of a dance, a raunchy dance that he did with an artist? She didn't go to bed with him. She would probably never speak with Omah Lay, that's the artist, ever in her life again. So do you guys consider this cheating or simply indecent behavior that anybody can just get over? Let me know what all of you think in the comment section down below. And welcome to Fashion O'Clock. This is the segment where we discuss the most remarkable fashion styles of the week and also the not so flattering outfits. And this week, the award for most disastrous outfit goes to Ice Spice. I mean, I like her. She's highly talented, but she attended People's Choice Awards looking like this. I don't even know where to look first. Whether to look at the orange dress or the not so matching hair color, or to look at the animal print she has underneath. I think this is a fail with a capital letter F. But the winner for this week is someone who has been taking home the prize for approximately 4 consecutive weeks. And that is no other than Tiana's Place Empire. This woman will never stop to amaze me. This time around, she's wearing a very slimy dress. It looks pretty basic and simple looking from afar, but when you zoom closer, you'd see that she is covered in snails. It's the artistic work for me. So I'm going to look forward to next week and see if another person can top this level of fashion kingship. And that's all we have time for today. As usual, I would like to thank all of you for watching this video. Go ahead and share it if you have really enjoyed it. Also follow us on all of our accounts if you'd love to see many more videos like this. I remain Blessing Njoh, the analyst, and I will catch you all on my next one.